Welcome back to Luxoid. Please click the bell and subscribe if you haven't already so that you can be notified whenever we release a new video. The world's poorest continent is Africa. However, judging by the richest kings in Africa, you wouldn't know it. Morocco's and Eswatini's leaders lead extravagant lives in fast vehicles, yachts, and private planes. The financial difference between the richest rulers in Africa and the subjects they rule is enormous. Additionally, traditional rulers in Ghana and Nigeria are wealthy millions of dollars, while the average yearly per capita income in sub-Saharan Africa, excluding South Africa, is just $315. The wealthiest kings in Africa ruled over enormous oil and gold reserves and held vast tracts of territory. Here is a look at the 5 richest kings in Africa. King Mohammed VI. King Mohammed VI of Morocco is so rich that he makes all the other kings in Africa look like peasants. He has more money than he knows what to do with, and he is known for spending exorbitant amounts of cash. At the time of producing this video, his net worth stood at a staggering $8 billion. Not only is he the richest king in Africa, but is also one of the richest monarchs, period. So, how did he get to be so rich? Well, for starters, he's in charge of the Moroccan holding company, Almada, also known as SNI. The conglomerate holds stakes in banking companies, mining companies, and telecoms. The private investment fund is worth about $43 billion, and its annual revenue is approximately $3.7 billion. King Mohammed uses those hefty dividend checks to splurge. His most prized possession is his $103 million sailing yacht, known simply as Badis 1. Let me tell you, yachts don't get much more elegant than this. The 70-meter Perini-built yacht exudes elegance. It's clean, modern, and sleek. Just picture this magnificent vessel setting sail at Casablanca and cruising along the coast to the French Riviera. There is no doubt that's how the king likes to spend his free time. When the king isn't meeting with dignitaries, he's working out in the yacht's gym or relaxing the stunning master cabin. The master cabin comes complete with a titanium ceiling and walls that feature intricate woodworking. The Badis 1 isn't the only yacht in the king's collection. He also owns a 62-meter refurbished schooner called El Bogas. Hey, it's always nice to have an extra yacht just in case. When the king travels the globe to meet the world leaders, he does so in style. He owns a Boeing 737 BBJ worth about $90 million. Frederick Obateru Akinruntan. As the traditional ruler of the Ugbo kingdom, Obateru commands a lot of respect. It's not just because he's powerful, it's also because he's incredibly rich. At the time of producing this video, Obateru had a net worth of $300 million, but we're not surprised he's so wealthy. After all, this is the same man who founded Obat Oil, which is one of Nigeria's largest privately held oil companies. It's no Exxon, but it's nothing to shrug at either. Obateru owns more than 50 gas stations across Nigeria. The oil flows from the pumps, and the cash flows into Obateru's pockets. Nigeria exports about $64.7 billion worth of oil and gas annually. So we don't expect Obateru to go broke anytime soon. Obateru uses all that oil money to buy expensive toys, like a custom-built 2012 Rolls-Royce and a 2014 Bentley. Obateru also has an impressive watch collection to go along with his fabulous car collection. He once reportedly bragged that he has a $1 million watch, and he uses the same type of car as the Queen of England. Even more impressive is Obateru's real estate portfolio. He owns prime commercial residential real estate in both London and Nigeria. The king owns Febson Hotel and Febson Mall, which are both located in downtown Abuja. King Swati III. You've probably never even heard of Eswatini. But perhaps you know the country's previous name, Swaziland. The name was changed by the country's current ruler, King Swatini III. He is extremely powerful and incredibly rich. The citizens of Eswatini are by and large very poor. But Swatini has a fortune worth $200 million. He also controls a trust worth about $10 billion. He spends most of that money on himself and his large extended family. The king's massive car collection includes a $450,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom and $214,000 Bentley Flying Spur, a $156,000 BMW 760Li, and a $335,350 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. King Swati has 11 wives. Yes, you heard that correctly. And they're all showered with lavish gifts. Back in 2014, the king shelled out $15 million to build new palaces for each of his wives. He didn't just hire any old interior decorator either. The new palaces were reportedly decorated by one of his girlfriends. When King Swati meets dignitaries around the globe, he flies in his $20 million McDonnell Douglas MD-87 or his $16 million Airbus A340-300. Swatini has more than just cash. His real estate portfolio is jaw-dropping. He actually owns 60% of Eswatini's land, which makes him the largest landowner in all of Africa. King Mrs Zulu. King Mrs Zulu's rise to power was anything but ordinary. Quite the opposite, actually. The death of his father, King Goodwill Zwelithini, was a total shock. And the death of his mother, Queen Mantfombi Dlamini, was also totally unexpected. His mother died just 1 month after his father, so she didn't even have time to appoint Mrs Zulu to the throne. Despite the tragedy, Mrs Zulu was still named King of the Zulu Nation. Along with the power came an incredible fortune. At the time of producing this video, he has a net worth of $20 million. As King Mrs Zulu oversees a $6 million royal household budget, which is given to the Zulu Nation every year by the South African government. Little is known about his spending habits, but he's so rich that he can basically buy whatever he wants. We do know that his father had an impressive car collection, so it's likely that Mrs Zulu inherited the expensive autos. He also reportedly received a top-notch and expensive education overseas. Osei Tutu II. Osei Tutu II is the traditional ruler of Ghana's gold-rich Ashanti Kingdom. At the time of producing this video, he had a net worth of $10 million. He owns a real estate all over Ghana and South Africa, but it's his bling that sets him apart from other kings. As king, he owns the golden stool and a wide array of gold rings and bracelets. He is almost never seen in public without a gold headband. He is honored annually with a grandiose banquet named Aquaside. Visitors queue up to kiss his hefty golden rings, which require his attendants to assist him in lifting his arms. Can you picture it? In all honesty, that seems like a great problem to have. Here is a fascinating truth. You may be surprised to learn that Osei Tutu once had some of his crown jewels taken right out from under him. While the king was in Norway for a summit, the priceless Ashanti heirlooms were stolen. The king's hotel room was robbed, but he wasn't too angry because the costly jewels were taken. He claimed that since the robbers just made off with a few rings and pieces of headwear, it was not a major concern. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank you in advance for your feedback. I am Miss Luxurious, signing off for now. Do not forget to visit our YouTube luxury channel, Luxzoid, to explore the exemplification of the great state of comfort and extravagant living.